So now we're going to look at bootstrapping. This is the deciding factor of an inference investigation as to, can you make the call? Can you say that one thing is happening more than the other, or one thing is faster than the other, or one thing is smaller than the other? So it is making that call, and we do that via this process called bootstrapping, and it's looking at how large the confidence interval is. So when we have a look at bootstrapping, we can see that this is our graph, and I'll show you how to get this graph. But what it's done is it's showing us the confidence interval between the difference of the two medians or means. So when we say the difference, we're talking about the shift of the median or the shift of the mean. Now here is our data, and the median is here and here. And what we know is that this shift is 0.55. But what if we took another sample? What if we had other data? What would it look like then? So what bootstrapping does is it randomly resamples the two groups, and the difference between the medians or the means are calculated. It does this 1,000 times. Every single one of these little dots is a resample, 1,000 resamples to give us this confidence interval. So to get this graph, we use NZGrapher. We have our data here, and we need to make sure that we choose bootstrap confidence interval. Now, if your data is got a skew to it, and there's some values that you don't want included, you need to use median. However, if all of your data is relevant and you have fairly symmetrical data, then you need to use mean. So for our dogs, we were using mean. So we go, I want the bootstrap confidence interval for the mean. I want the intelligence rank in the size category. And here is my graph. Now, what's interesting about this is that every time, if I just move this over, every time I update the graph, it gives me a different confidence interval. Because remember, this is a randomly resampled data. But what we do notice about this confidence interval is that there is a negative number and a positive number every single time. Okay, so that's just an interesting thing to note, and that will come in handy when we are making the call. You can click and drag this into any document you like so that you can include it into your report.